Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. It is Sunday night. It's 8 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. Got on my witch hat because it is the witching hour. That's right. We're here. We got Lady Angela and Lord Tony with us tonight. And Lady Carol won't be with us, but we're going to talk about her in just a little while. But you got a few of us here, and we're excited to be here with you. You know, guys, I got to tell you, I'm getting on my witch groove today. Look what I got on. I got on my Horned Lord shirt. Isn't this cool? Can you guys see that?
Very cool.
I'm wearing my Green Man pendant. So Psychic Bob in his witch mode today, girl.
I
Look
want
at
to see your pendant.
Oh, you want to see my pendant? It's the Green Man.
Ooh,
Isn't that
that's cool?
And I'm going to give a shout out to Gav Hines. I don't know if he's in our chat here, but Gav loves this pendant. He has one too. Gav, I'm wearing this. I was thinking about you. I said, I'm going to get Green Man'd out because we're moving into spring. I'm telling you. What's it like where you are, Lady Angela? Are you getting some spring weather yet?
We were, and then it snowed.
Yeah, so much for spring, right?
Yeah, like, what the heck, man? I want spring.
And I got to tell you, Lord Tony, I've been praying for you because I know you've been buried in snow for the last 2 months.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. We got nailed with a blizzard. We had at least a foot of snow in places, but lots of blowing snow everywhere. And I had snow that was piled up, good 12 feet high, and other places in the yard where we have a street sign. It was all the way up to the bottom of the street sign. And then,
wow!
You look outside now, and there's grass. It's all melted.
Now, isn't that
where Minnesota?
Was it?
Is that where you're Minnesota?
Yep.
Here
You
I
never
am
know
in Colorado.
You never know with Minnesota where if you're gonna get snow one day and beach weather to the next.
We had a morning that was like spring here, and then we had a giant dust wind come through, and it's funny because some of the people I work with, they have family like in Florida, and they said when that strong here we call a hurricane, and there in Colorado you just call it a dust storm. So we had a dust storm blow through, and then it started snowing. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, crazy world we live in, huh? Crazy.
Well, it's funny. When I grew up in Phoenix, they get the monsoons there. And my granny lived on one little road, and we were maybe, I got echo. We were maybe 3 streets over. And I remember as a kid, about 15 years old, and I was walking to go see my granny, and I left our house. It was sun shining just fine. But by the time I got to her street, it was black clouds, raining, everything. And then a few streets over, it was sunshine again. So weather's weird.
I'm telling you, I'm so with you on that. Well, I just got my chat open here. I hope we're broadcasting live.
Oh, I need to do that too.
Around, so it's a little tricky now to work stuff. So I hope I didn't disconnect us. Looks like we're still broadcasting.
Nope, we're good.
All right. Well, I've got to give some shout outs. There's Christian Druid 1313 Clifton's here. We got Pure Grace here. Mama Bird's here. Moonfae. Hey, Moonfae. Loved your comment on my video about scrying. Moonfae loves the Fae. And so thank you so much for that. Anthony Lightbringer. Well, that's Lord Tony. How'd you get in the chat when you're on the screen? He can buy locate.
He's always looking out.
I love it.
I'm always there.
And Kathy Private's here. We got Spiritual Awakening here. Jennifer Croxton. Hey, Shauna's here. Hey, Shauna. Psychic Bob says hey to you. Gab, there's my buddy. Yeah, he's got the pendant. Yay, Gab, wear your Green Man with me tonight. I need somebody to help me bring in the springtime because I feel like most of my friends, everybody I talk to is still in snow. And I'm like, I'm just getting into greenery. I need some green support here. More power I raise, I'm going to send the green to y'all because I want y'all to be in spring mode with Psychic Bob.
Now, I got to tell everybody, I'm super excited. Lord Tony came up with a great topic for tonight's show, which is really one of my very favorite topics. And the subject is on divination, methods and tools for divination. So I got to say, and we just come up with this. Lord Tony's brilliant. He suggested it. And I'm like, yeah. So we all got our little stuff gathered around. I got 1, 2, 3 piles here to show. And talk about different things. So I'm excited for that. And I can't keep my mouth shut if I get excited. So there you go.
Well, that's all right. We can all be excited. We are thankful to Lord Tony because Lord Tony always tells us amazing things. For those of you who are new here, our Sunday show is kind of like the gathering also of the tribes of our order, the Order of the Purple Cord. We're a mystical Wiccan order. We're all over the world. And Lord Tony is one of our officers. We got 4 officers. I'm the high priest, Lord Bob. Lady Angela's our high priestess. And Lord Tony is our Lord Guardian of the order. And Lady Carol, who's not here, is the Guardian of the Sacred Staff. And we gather every Sunday to kind of connect with each other, talk about Wicca. This show is for those of you who are trying to learn Wicca. Well, we're all learning. Never think you're an expert. Even though I'm a high priest, I'm still learning. I've been doing Wicca for 20 years, but I still have a lot to learn. And you never stop learning. Don't you think that's a great part of this religion, guys?
Absolutely. I believe in Wicca as being, we're all lifetime learners. We're always seeking knowledge, absorbing knowledge, doing, practicing, and learning new ways. That's something I really love about the craft. And I'm a natural bookworm, and to learn topics of like Wicca and spirituality and stuff, I can never get enough. That we're lifetime learners. Every one of us a student and a scholar at the same time.
I think so. And the cool thing is, in our order, we always share a lot of our ideas. Like Lord Tony said, let's talk about divination. I said, that's a great idea. And, we also have a Facebook page where people post everyday ideas for their altars. We're always learning something. And Lady Angela, what's our Facebook page? Can you tell everybody?
Just type in Order of the Purple Cord. It'll pop up. You can like us on there, or you can send us a message if you would like to officially join the Order of the Purple Cord. It's completely free to join. We're worldwide, so we're international. Wherever you live, it doesn't matter. You could be a member. You don't necessarily have to be a witch. Just have a like mind, be into the topics like we are. We don't practice anything negative like black magic. We won't tolerate it. We don't take part in it. We're more like a family. It's a group of people that are just like you. We all do our own thing, but we come together to share, maybe we set up our altar and we're just like, wow, this is inspiring. We might take a picture of it and share it with each other, and it inspires others or gives others ideas, or maybe someone will give us a suggestion on something, and we all learn and grow and share our practice in a private way that makes us part of something so much bigger than ourselves. And we'd love to have you as a member. You can reach us on our Purple Cord, or on our Facebook page, Order of the Purple Cord, or you could shoot Bob an email at readings@robert-hickman.com. You could go on his website at psychicbob.com. It gives you information. Or you can even send me an email specific requesting to join, either on my Facebook, which is Angela McAllister, or on my website, rarewiccaspells.com. You can reach me through that, or shoot an email to opc@rarewiccaspells.com. So lots of ways to get a hold of us. It's great, guys. We'd really love to connect with you. There you go.
Thank you so much, because I can't keep all the addresses straight. I appreciate you doing that.
I know that's right. No,
that is true. Everybody knows, it's amazing I get anything done in a day, because it's hard for me to keep focused. But one thing I am focused on, and that is developing a mystical connection to the other side. And, last night, for those of you who haven't seen it, I did a wonderful video. I'm not trying to brag, but I enjoyed it. I call it wonderful because it was such a cool experience. And I worked with a mystical scrying bowl. And this is my triple goddess scrying bowl called Maiden, Mother, and Crone Scrying Bowl. And a lot of you wrote to me and said, oh, that is so cool. That was a neat seance. And this is a beautiful bowl that I bought over at my favorite witch shop, and I guess I am a little biased, rarewiccaspells.com. And a lot of you said, oh my God, I got to get one of those bowls. Well, if you want to get one of these bowls, you go over to rarewiccaspells.com. The link for that shop will be below this video in the info box after it processes. But go over there, favorite that website, put it in your list, because even if you don't buy right now, you'll need it in the future and it'll be there. But this is the Maiden, Mother, Crone, and you can see, so I can't remember which one's which. This is the crone face here. It's hard to see. I don't have the best lighting here, but you can see the crone. Can you see that? Okay.
Yep.
And then we've got back here, we've got the mother image. Okay. And then we've got the maiden.
Mm-hmm.
So we get the maiden, see how young she looks? So it's like
made out of cold cast resin is the method used for making the statues and that scrying bowl right there. It's really beautiful. How does it feel, Bob? Does it feel like glass or stone or clay?
It feels kind of like stone. It's very solid. I've dropped it. It's never broken. It's very solid. It's got this kind of frosted black interior that makes it very deep and dark. And what you do with this is you fill it with water. And you know, when you do scrying, you should fill it pretty close to the top, because then you'll get a very deep image in it. And this is just it's probably my favorite scrying tool. I've used crystal balls. I've used magic mirrors. I love all of the scrying tools, but there's something about scrying in water that just takes me to that deep place. And so if you want to work on developing your scrying, I might encourage you to try this. Now, if this bowl isn't speaking to you, Lady Angela has a number of different bowls. She's got like 4, 5, 6 different scrying bowls. She has silver bowls, black bowls, marble bowls, all different materials. But I really recommend, you know, that you try it. And the scrying bowl is actually the original scrying mirror. You know, we have many of you have seen the black mirror, the magic black mirror. That is actually a later creation that came from the original idea of scrying in water. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and you know, if you guys want to know a cheap and easy and very effective way of making a black scrying mirror, on Lord Tony's YouTube channel here, he does a quick demonstration video of a simple way to make it using just a picture frame basically from a dollar store and some black spray paint. And he has an amazing instructional video on making black scrying mirrors, right, Lord Tony?
Sure, yeah, whatever you say.
I'm dying to know what Lord Tony wanted to talk to us about divination. I'm dying to dive into your thoughts, Tony.
Okay. I brought this question up earlier because I know how much Lady Angela loves her pendulum, and I was using the pendulum last week, and I was having some issues with it, and I was doing everything I was supposed to do, you know, giving the truth questions that I knew answers to, and I was basically getting true answers from it at that point. And so, you know, I was using it, and I was asking the questions I wanted to you know, have answered, right, about myself, about someone else that I knew, that, you know, the kind of personal questions that I just wanted confirmation about. And it lied to me. And when I talked with the person about things, and she was like, no, that's not me, especially when it came to names. You know, because I never actually knew her actual first name, but she's like, no, that's not me. That's not my name. Not one little bit, not my name. And so she was understanding about it, but, you know, it was like, I had a hard time believing what it said. So I was like curious as to what we can do about something like that when we have an issue like that.
I would not use that pendulum any longer. I had a tarot deck before, a certain one I had for years, and it told me lies. Only I could do wonderful readings for others, but when I did for myself, it told me lies. I burned it because it was made of paper as a tarot deck, just to release it back into the universe. You know, that deck wasn't for me. So I have had that situation with a different tool. Maybe Lord Bach can.
Yeah, you know, I think with divination tools, like, one of the things that comes to my mind, Lord Tony, is, do you remember that the witches of old actually believed that their tools came to life? Like, for example, an old style witch back in the Middle Ages would name their tool, like this scrying ball. I might call this scrying bowl, you know, Melinda. And this is Melinda, my scrying bowl. And I might even describe her name. And the spirit of energy of Melinda, of this bowl, would take on a life. And that's an old time kind of witch tradition. And I think even if we don't necessarily consciously do that, our tools, through their use and opening the door of spirit, do sometimes take on their own consciousness in life. And I think that in your case, really, I think that pendulum, in a sense, came to life, but it wasn't a spirit that was necessarily grounded, or the energy of that thing was just not, whatever, you know, for whatever reason, in harmony with you. And I don't think it's a failing on your part. I think it's just a phenomena that actually occurs sometimes in mystical work, you know.
Yeah.
And I would say, I think Lady Angela, what she said about, well, maybe it's just time to get rid of it, is probably the best for that. And what I would say, what I would encourage you to is say, thank you for your service. However, I release you to the cosmos. And I would actually invest in a new pendulum, because sometimes that consciousness and attachment is hard to break. And it may just be that tool just may need to go on,
Yeah,
I'd bury it.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, but I think it's time to get rid of this one. I actually made this one, so I didn't buy it from anybody. I bought the stone actually from a Michael's craft store, but pretty much everything else.
You have strong energy, and by you making that, your light shines brightly, and by you making that tool, not saying it'll always happen, and I encourage you to make your own tools. Of course, we encourage everybody to do that. But whatever energy that was around at the time of you're making it latched onto that, I think. And so it became deceptive. I would just, like Lord Bob said, and bury it and just get you a new one, and then you'll be more successful. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, because everything I made this out of, like the stone itself, that's black onyx, so that's
a little higher for us.
So that's a protective stone there. And then
oh, that's cool.
I think it's the fob and lob. I can't remember which one is which, but this one's actually made out of Tektite. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Oh, it's awesome.
The Tektite piece, so it's like it worked before for me, so I'm not sure what happened with it. And it's like Bob was saying, is like something got attached to it that shouldn't be attached, and it won't let go now.
Right. Wow. I don't know if re-cleansing it and dedicating it would make a difference. I use a different pendulum for each spirit that I speak with, and if one is not yet known, then I'll leave it open until I know that spirit or entity that I'm going to speak with it. That's something I do, but maybe you could try to cleanse it again.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
If it still does it, I'd bury it.
Yeah. This one, I had actually called on my my higher self and my spirit guides and my guardian angels to be the only ones allowed to communicate with through here, and I had Archangel Michael, blocking all negative energies from interfering. So it's like I was a little upset when I found out otherwise, after it was all said and done.
How odd. Was every answer like a mirror image of the truth? Like every single thing was like opposite?
What do you mean?
Or was it more far-fetched than that?
No, I'd get.
Oh, Gab has a good. Gab said throw it in a pint of Florida water. That's a good idea, actually.
That might be a good. Yeah, that's very purifying.
Yeah, because I would get some truthful answers out of it, but it would, as far as like who the person was, their involvement with me, and things like that. I can't trust it anymore because it was way off base.
Yeah, maybe try the Florida water method. I sell Florida water on my website, and I have some of that. And most Florida water you buy online, it's supposed to have an alcohol content, but because it's being shipped, it doesn't have it when you get it. And I advise maybe putting like a shot of like vodka or Everclear in it, because it makes the Florida water more pure and true. And so when you soak that in it, it's going to be such a powerful Zappa cleansing. That was brilliant. You should try that.
I love that. Mama Bird said that she had to cleanse her Ouija board. Sometimes it goes off too. And I think this is a really good lesson, Tony, for all of us, because it's kind of making us all contemplate. We need to make sure that our tools are prepared and consecrated the right energies. And
right. I never had a problem with my tarot deck, so that's still working for me, and I used that just before I used the pendulum, and so I gave a quick reading to a friend of mine, and she said that was absolutely spot on. But I used the pendulum afterwards to get other information, and it just went weird.
Oh, wow. Well, that's like that tarot deck. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Go ahead, Angela. I'll jump in after.
Well, it was that tarot deck that I had. I could give wonderful readings for other people with it. But when I would try to do for myself, it told me lies. How interesting. Your pendulum did a very similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I was about to say. I was going to say, sometimes also when you're doing readings for another person, the amount of energy and power that goes out in that process, you may have kind of depleted your own kind of shields in the process of working. And then like your own energy for yourself was not as strong or present to get a clear message. That can happen, you know.
I know the dreams I had afterwards were just crazy though.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah.
very interesting. Very interesting. Shauna Jacob says, use Palo Santo. That's a good idea too, Lord Tony.
Yeah, I did that. I actually have a stick of it sitting right here.
Gotcha.
There you go. Shauna, that's a good idea though. I'm a believer in Palo Santo. I've been researching. Lord Tony's the one who first got me into it. And it's powerful stuff.
I had, on this topic, I gathered a few of my pendulums here. The ones that were close by, because like I said, it was last minute. But to show you, this is one I used to connect with one of my dragon spirits. And I put a little dragon charm on the end so I would know what this one was for. And this is one of my, and it's on a chain. And this one, it's beautiful. I have no idea if you could see it. It's called blue sandstone. It's this deep black, and it has these brilliant silver, like sparkle lights. This is a real stone, a gemstone. But I love it because it looks like the universe and the stars glistening in it. And it's one of my favorite stones I connect with. And I have a black dragon that's a spirit guide of mine. And so in that way, I've tagged it. And this one I only use to speak with that guide. This one, you know, in the Order of the Purple Cord, two of our favored deities, we love Isis, the goddess Isis, and we also love Horus, amongst whatever other gods and goddesses you feel connected with. But I have a pendulum dedicated to each. This one is the one I use to speak with the mother goddess Isis.
Oh,
and it's a similar stone. It's the same blue sandstone because I favor it so much. But a way to keep them apart was I sought out a charm that represented each, which also personalizes it, you know. And this one is for Isis. I have one that's for Horus. This one has a sodalite pendulum, blue sodalite stone, and it has an eye of Horus at the end.
Oh, that's perfect. Because, you know, he's a sky god. So that's like the blue is like the sky.
Right.
The clouds.
And here's one. This one's actually a vessel. It has Egyptian energies that are attached with it. But it's on a necklace, so I can either wear it or I could use it as a pendulum as well. So those are a few of my pendulums.
I love that. Those are beautiful. You know, I think pendulum's so fascinating. And I've done some work with the pendulum. I don't have mine with me, but I've got a beautiful one. It's made of solid copper. And something about copper. I mean, when I work with pendulums, I love copper. And I have one's made of solid copper. And it's like a long chain. I think it's called, it's funny, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's called the Isis pendulum. And it has rings around it. It's very beautiful.
Oh.
I'll have to show you that. I've got that at home. But as many of you know, I'm traveling this week, so I don't have that.
Right.
But I love pendulums.
Montcalm Horror asked a quick question. They asked, does rosemary help with nightmares? And I'd like to say absolutely. So does cedar. You know, some people have cedar trunks, or you get little bits of cedar like to keep moths out of your clothes, or just cedar in general is very, very powerful against nightmares.
I actually saw somebody it might have been on eBay, was selling little cedar sachets that you can tuck in your pillows. So you have that scent in your bed at night.
Right. Spiritual Awakening has a question they want answered. They're asking for assistance, but we're not sure what your question is. Please, Spiritual Awakening, type that out. Heather Morrison says, I have a question. Can anyone help me? Why my 7-day protection candle keeps going out? Is it okay to remove some of the wax so I can continue with the spell? Lord Bob?
Yeah, well, you know, a lot of times, and I like to say this because some people get upset and they think, oh my God, there's an omen. I think sometimes, you know, before we go to it's a bad omen, we have to be practical. And sometimes just simply the way candles are constructed, they don't burn properly. And so I would say definitely start with removing the extra wax, kind of clean it down. And then you can light it again, because sometimes there are factors that, you know, just from the production that make it do that. So I wouldn't necessarily say be scared. That's a bad omen. You know, what you want to watch is, though, after you do that, watch how it continues to burn and pay attention to particularly how the flame moves and the soot that collects. You're using a glass jar type candle, because you will sometimes get symbols or messages through that. But I'd say start with the practical, just clean it up and see if it burns better for you. So
that's great advice. In fact, for people wondering, sometimes we use, we use smoke to cleanse an area or even burn a stick of incense. You could tell what the energy in the room is by if that smoke is wafting all over the place like this, or that candle's just jumping around. There's a lot of obstacles and vibrations there that it's having to deal with. That's disrupting it. But if that candle flame stays up, or the smoke just goes up in a nice stream, it shows that the energy is clear and that it's focused. It doesn't have all that chaos going on. So that's a really good point. There's also indications about the flame. A candle itself can represent a whole ritual because the base is the earth. Each part has a part, as the wax dripping is water. The flame itself is fire. The movement is air. Different things where the candle itself is just like an altar, or that's all you need. But the direction that the flame wafts, if it's a certain north, south, east, or west, or if it's a steady stream, means it'll be no trouble. Your thing will manifest quickly. If it's jumping all over the place, there's obstacles it's having to work through. So it's the flame and the smoke I just had to throw that in.
I love that. Can I jump in and share some before it goes? Because I'll lose it. Shauna Jacob said to Montcalm Horror, tie dried lavender flower next to your bed. That's what I do, and I swear I haven't had a nightmare in months. I love that. Yes, that's a wonderful thing. Sorry,
Lord Tony, what was your comment, Lord Tony?
Now, I'm questioning, what if the flames are, basically leaning towards you?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because I literally have a candle. I literally have a candle sitting right next to me, and the flames are going crazy, but they're both doing this, aiming straight at me.
How
I think you got very high vibration, Lord Tony. I know you do.
You're bending the
light. you can literally see them.
You're magnetic.
That's cool.
Well, of course, now that I'm doing it, it's going straight up again.
So basically, what it tells you is, what you send out, Lord Tony, and tell the universe you're wanting, it does come true. And you have to be, it comes to you. You have that natural, we all have that polarity, but you're dialed in. But we have to be careful, because sometimes we're our own worst enemy, and we might doubt ourselves, and that causes question for what manifests or things like that. Just as advice to everybody, don't work against yourself. Know these things are going to happen. Put it out there and know it's going to happen. Lord Tony is showing this powerful vibration. There's indications spirit give you. Like, I just bought a new used car, and it's funny because the name of my road, which isn't very common, I'm not going to say it because we're on live TV across the world, but it's funny. I found a piece of paper. It was a letter in the thing that came to the previous owner, and on it my same street name was there in a different way, and I was like, oh wow, that's a synchronicity. You know what I mean? It was like, this is a good thing, so.
We got a question from Shadowlander. It says, I've got a question for everyone. Angela, this is for you. How powerful is doing magic and witchcraft that would be part of one's genetic heritage be? You understand that?
No, I don't understand it.
Basically, they're saying, if you do witchcraft or magic that's part of your genetic heritage, does it have, I think they're saying, how powerful would it be? More powerful than doing,
very much more.
You're Italian, you do Italian witchcraft. Would that be more powerful than if you're doing Celtic witchcraft or Russian witchcraft?
I think if that's the type or classification of witchcraft that you're drawn to, absolutely, and you feel a calling for it, there's a reason you have a calling. You probably have many lifetimes practicing whatever it is that you're being drawn to. And, as we learn and grow in our own practice and our own knowledge and skill set, we discover new things. And it's amazing because, for example, you can read a book through, a Wiccan book, and when you're brand new and you pick up on certain things. But 5-6 years later, you stumble across that same book and read it again, and you pick up on so many other things because now you're ready to. Spirit works in that way. It'll present things when you're ready for it. And if you're if you're Italian, how Lord Bob has said, and you're drawn to Italian witchcraft or to, sangria or whatever it is, different things, go for it because you're dialed in, you're tapped in, and it's going to be that much more. Whoa. Is that a word?
I'm sorry, I have to laugh. I think you meant to say Santeria. You said
sangria.
sangria.
Sangria, the wine.
Sangria is the wine. But I might like some sangria while doing Santeria.
Right.
Sorry, I had to pick on you there.
It happened.
Sangria. We're all drawn to sangria.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, that happened.
No, I know you didn't mean it. No offense to any Santeria people. We're just playing, okay?
Right.
Wow.
I had something to show. I got show and tell. So I got to thank everybody out there for the book orders coming in for Book of Shadows. I had one here I'm finishing up. It's beautiful. It's a gray dragon skin Book of Shadows that I love. It's huge. It has the bookmarks. It's amazing. You know, I've been getting a lot of orders in for these, and they're just, you know, I hand make these to you. This person wanted this dragon skin themed fabric. They liked certain animals and stuff. I have creative ways I incorporate that into your book. And each one's a work of art, and it's something that'll last not just your lifetime, but you can pass it down generation to generation. So I wanted to show that off. I just love them, and each one has its own personality too. You know, each book comes together in its own way and has its own personality that's unique. I won't share about them because it's a private thing, you know. So, but also I've been making herb chests. I had to show off because I think they're so cool. So I found a woodworker, and I asked him to make me some boxes. So he made me some different boxes, and I have 3 of these smaller ones. Of course, he had no idea what I'm going to do with them, but here's what I am doing. So they're beautiful. He handmade these boxes, and I decorated them and made them witches' herb chests. See here, it has a pentacle on the front. And inside, he has in this one, it's purple velvet lined. And I have 13 baggies of different witches' herbs. And on this one, I put a pentacle on each little surface. And I think it's cool as heck. And I made another one too here. I'm going to put these on my eBay store. And you can find that if you go on eBay and do a search for the store name or seller name, Rare Wicca Spells. That's where you'll find these. This one is very similar size. It's lined with beautiful purple fabric. It's like this textured look. My lighting's crap right now, sorry. 13 different magical herbs. And this one I decorated the lid different, see? And what I plan to do is I'm going to make a couple spell sheets that go with it. One is going to be a herbal blessing. One is going to be to bless your tools that you work with herbalism with. But also it'll probably be 2 sheets, and all these are on parchment, that'll describe each of the herbs that's in this box and their magical uses. So it'll be a whole kit. And I'm going to be listing that in the next couple of days, so if anyone's interested. But this has been fun as heck to make. The designer of the box is a wonderful woodworker. He signed the bottoms. They smell amazing. I don't know what type of wood this is. It reminds me of cedar. But they're beautiful. I think they're cool as heck.
You know, I swear I was going to ask you if they were cedar. They really do look like
cedar. I think they are. The more I handle them and I smell them and the color of it, and he does good work, and he works with good woods, you know what I mean? And he's master. So those are just the little ones. I have some larger ones. I'm going to put together travel altars, and I'll list those as well. So.
I love that. I love that. Somebody just wrote, Pure Grace wrote, I love sangria. We're going to have a sangria party here one week. We'll mix it up all sangria. Also, I got to give a shout out to Gav here. Gav said earlier, he said, our clocks are changing time next Sunday. I knew that Britain was not on the same time schedule as us because we're usually 5 hours. And I think, Gav, correct me, I think we're 4 hours. So Gav gets to be here a little early, and all the British viewers. Welcome to all the people in Europe and Britain and throughout the continent who are watching. We welcome you here.
Absolutely.
Lord Tony, you were going to say something. What was that you had to say?
Completely forgot. Oh, wait, no, I remember. You brought up Pure Grace. She gave me a new nickname.
Oh, do tell.
Lightbender.
Ooh, that fits.
Yeah, we'll still bring her in.
Not only does Tony bring the light, he then bends it.
I think that's powerful.
I shape it to however I need to use it.
You know what? That's what we all do. We have to do it. Back on our divination topic, guys, I have gathered here, and I know Lord Bob and Lord Tony both love using runes. And you could get a set of runes anywhere. You could get them on my shop, Rare Wicca Spells, or you could get them on eBay or Amazon, or better yet, you can make your own. Sometimes you find them in little bits of clay. Sometimes they're in wood. Sometimes they're carved into gemstones. I've bought some before, and I've also made some before, and it's always a pleasure. You can go with the traditional set, which are like the Elder Futhark. I probably mispronounced it, but it's a set of 24 of them, which is a wonderful, powerful set. Or you could make yourself a witch's rune set, or you could buy a witch's rune set, which are a set of 13. Or you could even make up your own sigils that mean a certain thing to you, carve them into a stone or a bit of something and make your own rune set. But runes are very, very effective. I have a set here that I actually purchased. They're carved out of some kind of a fruit wood, little discs. Lord Bob has some great big ones. And they have a symbol that's carved into each. Lord Bob or Lord Tony, did you guys want to talk about working with runes? I know you both love them.
I
and
do.
What you can do with them?
Well,
just give me a minute. Just give me a minute, and I'll go grab my own set.
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, I had to jump in here, and as we said, there are different types of runes, and I actually have both. The 24 set is called the Elder Futhark, and the Futhark comes from the first, 6 or 8 letters of the runes, Fehu or Uru. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but
right,
that's what it is. But I have another set, which is one of my really, I love all my runes, but Lady Angela custom made me a few years ago a set of witch runes out of opal stones. And they're beautiful opalite stones, hand carved and inlaid with gold leaf. Yep. And they are just beautiful. And I wish I had those here to show them. I have that maybe next week when I'm back. I should.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're different sets, but really the thing is that runes are signs of power. And right. They're for divination and for magic and protection. You can use them for a lot of different things. And I think Lord Tony just brought us some treasure to see.
Yeah, basically, Lady Angela was talking about, you can make your own runes. And I made these basically some time ago. I got them in a nice black felt bag, and I used black polymer clay.
Oh.
And made certain size, little discs out of them, and I can't even see what I'm doing here. But yeah, I squished them out, and then
they're awesome.
Wow!
Yeah, after I squished them out, I put the symbol in them and each rune in there, and I used some paint and painted them red and baked them.
Lord Tony, I got to tell you, I was going to say one of the traditions, and I guess you can probably know this, but the original runes, like back in the Germanic pagan times, they believed that the runes should be painted in red for power, to empower them. Did you know that? That it was actually supposed to be painted red?
I had no clue. I actually just liked the color.
Well, there you go. Well, the
traditional
Germanic pagans would say, "Oh, that's powerful because you did them in red."
Yeah, right. Even the inside of the bag is red.
That's cool.
Nice. And also, you don't necessarily have to have a physical rune. Sometimes when we're working magic or rituals, there's a lot of other ways to use runes as well. The symbols themselves, which have a specific meaning. Say you're working a spell to get a job. I actually have a spell page about this, and it has certain runes, symbols that you can either carve into a candle that you then burn during your spell, or you can draw the rune on a piece of paper and set the candle on it while you burn it to do your spell. Lord Bob has many video demonstrations where he's been walking on the beach or at the park by his house, and he grabs a stick off the ground, and blesses it, and then he'll carve a rune into the dirt or into the sand, which is an amazing way to work magic. And as nature wears that carving you just made in the ground away, that's manifesting your desire. Or burning that candle, as it burns, it manifests it because it has been inscribed with sigils, with symbols. Which I love runes because it taps back to ancient prehistoric times. There's cave paintings. These are drawings and symbols that maybe us today don't get or understand, but the gods saw us writing these symbols and knew what they meant. They have power stronger than words. And so that's why I really love symbols and sigils. And runic magic was a wonderful thing to throw in for our divination topic.
I love it. Can I jump in here? Christian Druid says something I want to comment on. Christian Druid said, I have some runes, but it's missing a few of them, so I don't use them. You know what you can do? I've had this happen where I lose runes, you know, because especially in Psychic Bob's house, I got junk there that fly out my bag and I never see them again. I find if you have like a half set of runes, you know, rather than use them for divination, use them as ingredients in mojo bags. You know, save them. If you want to use a mojo bag and you need an extra power, you can use your little rune stone in your mojo bag. Like you wear it around you or carry it. That's a great way to use that, like a set that's an incomplete set that you don't have to just leave them on the shelf. They can be used in other ways.
Also, too, you can use them as a prop on your altar that you set up, that you're working a ritual for something. And maybe out of that oddball set you have that's missing some, you have a couple runes that are specific to whatever working you're doing right now. You can place those on your altar to add that energy into your spell work. That's very effective. And a lot of times you'll also see practitioners use a tarot card, you know, that symbolizes whatever they're working on. And they'll just stand it up there on their altar. You could do the same thing with your runes. That's brilliant.
I think so. I love that. Thank you, Gab. Gab said he learns something new every witching hour. Isn't that Gab? Well, we're honored that people stay up so late. And, you know, I would say thank you because all of you that take the time every week to be here, it's a tribute to you, how kind and devoted you are to the craft. And, you know, I'll tell you, you know, the Wicca changed my life. And I think each of us here can tell that.
Yes.
That'd probably be a whole show in itself. But I'll just say that Wicca gave me a sense of coming back into who I am and my power. And I felt like I was coming home when I joined the craft. And that's why we do this show. We love to share our joy of the craft, don't we, guys?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Moonface says wearing rune jewelry can be used for spell too, right? Absolutely. In fact, I have a tattoo that I designed that goes around my arm. It's 7 different sigils. And there are some runes included there, but sigils that I actually have tattooed on me for constant. One of them is the Eye of Horus is on here, you know, as a constant protector and lookout for me. So wearing jewelry, tattooing it, whatever, absolutely. I don't know if you guys, Lord Tony, Lord Bob, have you guys ever heard of the I Ching?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I love the I Ching. And when I first started learning the craft, and I didn't quite read tarot cards yet, and I come across an I Ching book, and it's called The Book of Changes. And this particular book I had then, it dealt with using quarters or pennies. And you have them in your hand and you cast them out. But traditionally, I actually have a set here that I got years ago, the I Ching set. And here's a giant picture of the coin. But here, it's 3 coins. And you guys have all seen I Ching coins, I'm sure of it. On one side, it has 2 symbols. On the other side, it has more. But you toss them out, I believe it's 6 times, and you record what the outcome is. And that all equals a certain pattern. And it has a book, and you look it up. And I found you get very powerful readings for yourself from the I Ching. Very interesting things. And in fact, sometimes the reading you get, certain parts don't make sense now. But within 2 weeks' time, when they manifest and you think, whoa, that was spot on. That's exactly what that meant. But I didn't realize, I mean, it has some really profound things that, you know, the I Ching is a fun thing to explore as well.
I love it also. First time I did it, I was so amazed because those patterns you make, they call them the hexagrams because they're 6 lines. And you know where I was getting confused? Because like at a certain point, you switch the lines, you know, like you have 2 positives and switches negative. It takes a little while to learn it, but once you learn it, it is amazing.
Here's like the symbol, one of them that it makes, you know, whether it's a straight line or a broken line, and you look it up and it tells you the meaning of them, and it's fascinating.
I love it. I think, you know, my belief is that the universe wants to communicate with us.
Right.
So we're given all these wonderful gifts from the cosmos so we can be in touch. It's like the universe is giving you your own cell phone with its own private number to it, you know. That's what I always say. People sometimes, recently I had somebody say to me, oh, well, you know, it's evil to, you know, read the tarot. And I said, why is it evil? They said, because it's, you know, of the devil. I said, no, it's not. I said, the tarot is It's literally a cell phone to the spirit world. And it helps you know what's going on. You know?
Absolutely. And, you know, I faced that too early on in the craft, you know, when I was just learning and people would challenge me about, because I found a lot of times the people I would read cards or give readings to were people who had never had it done before or even considered it. But they met me and they started seeing my practice and my beliefs, and it opened them up to getting a reading. And they'd say, well, how is this okay? You know, divination in the Bible says bad, bad, bad. And I explained divination. These tools we use, whether it's a pendulum, a deck of tarot cards, some coins we're going to throw out, maybe you're reaching into your junk drawer and pulling out a certain item, and that gives a reading too. And that is a real form of divination. But I explained to them, these are all methods for us to understand the message from our spirit, from our God. You know, we pray, but we don't always know how to understand the message. These are instruments of communication. The higher power knows what card's going to come up, or knows how the coins are going to fall. The higher power determines that, so that the message you get is the one that they want you to have. You know, and when you go to a certain reader, like if you call up Psychic Bob and schedule a reading with him, that message you're going to get from him is the one that you're needing to know right now, because your higher self knows about it. You know, when you get that hunch and you get that reading, you need, maybe this tarot reader throws out these cards and this one does the exact same, but the message you get and the delivery of it in that way that's specific to that person who reads, or to Psychic Bob. He gets amazing readings, by the way. That's, you needed to cross paths with them and get that message. You know, that's how spirit works. So I rambled on there. Sorry, guys.
No, thank you. Got to give a shout out to Carolina R. Says hi. Hi, Carolina. Good to see you, darling. Also, Heather Morrison has a good question. She says, can you speak about copper? This is one for you, Lord Tony. Oops, hold on. I just saw some. My husband is a talented artist, and it looks like he made a wand for her with copper spiraling.
Copper paper.
Oh, did I miss? Wow. I couldn't see it. Okay.
Copper. Naturally spiraled.
So yeah, Lord Tony, you're an expert at metals. What can you tell us about copper?
I'm going to give you the same exact answer I gave last time. It's kind of goldish in color. It turns green when it tarnishes. It's very conductive, but it's very protective at the same time. I've actually heard of stories where back in the war time of a guy who had an actual raw piece of copper that was given to him, and he went to war, and he came back that day. It was a really bad day. People were getting shot and killed, and he came back, not a scratch on him, but his uniform had holes that went completely through. And it was just a story I heard, and then another person at work told me the exact same story. And it was a very protective material, but it's great on wands.
Oh yeah, I love copper. You know, in the ancient days, copper was also considered the metal of love because it was associated with the goddess Venus. And many of the goddess Venus's shrines would have copper roofs or copper somewhere in the temple. And it was considered to enhance love energy also. So if you want to get some romance going on, maybe wear some copper jewelry, you know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Now, what about cards, guys? Do you guys use... Lord Tony said he has tarot cards. I didn't know this.
I actually do have the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck by John Holland.
And, hold it up for us. Let's see. Oh, I've seen those.
These cards are really, really, I hate to say the word. I hate saying pretty, but they're pretty. And
well, show us some. It's an oracle deck, huh? Not a traditional tarot deck. It's an oracle set.
It's an actual oracle deck. And it has all the major arcana, you know, from all the good stuff. But it's you get things like obstacles and challenges.
Hold it up.
That.
Nice.
You got the artwork. I love the artwork on these cards.
Ooh, what card is that one? Ooh,
that's
shadow.
That's the shadow card. But yeah, it's very easy to use. I don't use these the way that normal people use the tarot cards.
That's good.
You know, everyone they like to shuffle the deck and all this, and well, you know, a lot of people wait for a card to jump out. I actually had that happen when I was putting it away. But you know, it's got a nice gold around the edges on the gilded deck. I like it. But what I like to do is I'll shuffle them, and then I'll spread them all over the floor within arm's reach of me.
Oh.
So it's kind of a sloppy way of doing it. But I'll have like my my selenite pyramid. I'll place that in my left hand like this, and I'll have my right hand basically with my middle finger here, but it just basically like this, and I'll go over the cards just like this, and I'll ask, pick the card that pertains to this particular thing. And usually I do a 4-card spread. I'll do past, present, future, and higher self, with the messages from the higher self. Nice. And I'll just go work my way around it. My eyes are closed, and wherever I get, basically it's almost like a jolt of electricity is what I'll get. And I'll just drop straight down, pick that card up, set it out to the side, and start over with the other ones. And it works great. And
that's your method. And that's what you should do, because that's your method. I think that's extremely powerful.
And it's funny because when I was all done doing this, I hadn't done it in a long time. And I just basically mumbled out loud. I said, well, I really hope this works out for her. And as I'm putting the cards back in the box, one card came back out, and it was a single sword card, and it said triumphant success.
Ooh.
So I'm like, well, this has to work. Yeah. So
that's amazing. I love working with tarot, but sometimes I also need that extra little card, just some further clarification. And that's when I'll pull out my Oracle deck. We're about out of time, but I thought I'd show you guys some of my favorite Oracle decks, the ones that I keep in my personal collection and I use all the time. One of them that I love is a Past Life Oracle deck, which is by Doreen Virtue. We all know the drama with her, but I do love her tarot and Oracle decks. This is one I love. It's beautiful. It gives wonderful past life readings. It also has the beautiful gold edging like Tony talked about.
Oh, I like that.
It has a door on the one side because you're stepping into your past life. I just love it. It has amazing readings, amazing. Here's one, Knighthood. I swear Lord Tony would definitely pull that card. But when I need a little bit of further clarification, or I'm doing a past life reading on myself or someone else, sometimes I'll pull out this deck. It gives wonderful readings. Another one, wow, I actually have three of my Oracle decks are all by Doreen Virtue. I have the Ascended Masters deck, which Lord Bob has the same one. It's wonderful to work with. I have the Goddess Guidance Oracle deck, which I love working with as well. It gives very powerful readings. And one I really like too is called Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron Reed. I really enjoy this deck. When I give a reading and I want some further clarification from the universe, I'll go to this deck. And I get some really powerful stuff out of it. The imagery is amazing. I like those. Something you can get on my website is called the Easy Tarot. I actually have a set of it right here. This is wonderful because it'll teach you to read. It comes with a beautiful, good-sized book. And what I love about this deck is the imagery. It's on black background with beautiful gilded golden images. It's called the Gilded Tarot. It has beautiful sun imagery on the back. And each card is amazing. Here's the sun card. Look at how that just pops out of that black background. It's amazing. This is one you could get on my website. So
I love those. That is beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful. And I wanted to acknowledge, I believe Lady Carol is in the chat tonight. Lady Carol, thank you for being here. You didn't have to be here, hon, but we're touched you wanted to be here with us tonight.
And we love you and miss you. And
we love you. And for those who haven't heard, Lady Carol's husband passed away. She's in mourning now. And Lady Carol, our hearts are with you, hon. And thanks for just trying to be here today. But take care of yourself. Rest. Be gentle. When you go through a terrible loss, you got to be gentle with yourself. But we're here with you. We send you love. We're touched you reached out to us tonight. And it's interesting because, talking about tarot decks, ladies and gentlemen, I like Doreen Virtue's decks also. And I know people don't like her, And somebody wrote me recently and said, Psychic Bob, can I still use her decks even though she's denounced them? I said, absolutely. Because when she designed this, she was channeling that from the higher spirit.
They're powerful.
And they're still true whether she believes in them or not. So
right.
don't let that scare you. You use her
right.
decks if you like them.
Right.
And I'd say, you know, if you love her decks, buy them up now because I think they're all going out of print. I think she's totally
Such
put
too.
a quash on all the print. So, yeah. You know, so yes.
I also love working with the Witches tarot deck. I forget who made it, and I'm sorry for that. I have the book for it here somewhere, but I love the Witches tarot deck. And another one I recently got that I love is Tarot in Wonderland. This is a fun deck to work with as well. So
somehow I just don't see me using that.
I don't either, Lord T.
Not for everybody, but it is for me.
There you go. And you know, that really comes back to the important part. Find the divination tool that speaks to you. You should be excited about your tool. You know, don't just get something that's just like, oh, so-and-so said I have to do it this way. No, no, no. You know, like my tool is my scrying bowl. I am crazy about my bowl. I brought this from, I travel with my bowl. And, you know, that's how I feel. I love tarot cards. I actually love all of the forms. But if I had to like give them all up and only I'd keep my scrying bowl. But that's me, you know. And you may love pendulum, you might like tarot, you might like crystal ball. Doesn't matter. Find the one that speaks to you. Do you agree with me, Lady Angela?
Absolutely. And I know Lord Tony, just like Lord Tony, how he demonstrated and shared with us, which I want to thank him for sharing his method with us. Because the way we use our tool is personal and private to us.
Well, yeah. I think you just realized what you just said.
I did. Anyways, we all have our own method and a method that works for us. That's what you do. You know, just like earlier, we had a question about the lady said, what if you're drawn to a certain form of witchcraft, you know, and you practice that? Will it make it stronger? Absolutely. Because something in you, your higher self, is calling out to you to do these things and to do it a different method. I read tarot a different way too. I don't do the traditional Celtic cross spread, or I don't do the certain how it is in the book. Usually I'll throw out 5 cards and I'll read them. And then if I need another 5, I'll throw another 5, whether I'm reading for somebody else or myself or whatever. That's how I usually do. And a simple way you can learn to read the tarot is start throwing out those 5 cards and look at it and read it like it's a movie. You don't necessarily need to even look in the book. Look at your deck and the imagery and pretend that's a movie and describe it out loud. How did this movie progress? What is this telling you in the scene? And if you practice that way, you'll really start honing in your skills, and then you can bring out the book of the real meanings. And it's a simple way to really get started and to trust your own inner voice and your own intuition of how to interpret things.
Yay, I agree with you. Christian Druid. Hi, Christian Druid. Listen, I got to tell you, she says, hey, Lord Barb, my birthday is the 30th of this month, and I want to do a reading with you if I can. I would love the chance to sit down and do a private reading with you. You know, private reading with me, it's a full hour, you and me one-on-one. We'll cover everything, past, present, future, spirit guides, messages from deceased loved ones. You know, we look at your karmic links, your life themes, and I answer all your questions. So, Christian Druid, please, give me a call. You can reach me at my office number, 703-825-3929. Now, put that in your cell phone, all of y'all. Even if you don't want to buy a reading now, when you do, you'll have me there. But Psychic Bob in, 703-825-3929. And we'll do that. So, thank you so much. And happy birthday to you in advance, you know. And Lady Carol is signing off. Thank you for stopping in, Lady Carol. We send our hugs to you. Blessings to you, darling. We're with you, okay? You and I are going to talk this week, okay? Thanks for being here.
Where's the time gone, Lord Bob? It's over.
I'm telling you, I blink. And, you know, I'm going to blame Lord Tony because he's got that titanium back there, don't you, Lord Tony?
Always, right next to everything.
There it is. The time-bending mystical metal. I'm telling you, if Lord Tony starts making wands out of titanium, look out, girl. I'm telling you, We're going to see sparks fly across the sky. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I tell you, it is time for us to wrap it up here, but we want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you for being here. You know, we have the best time, and it really is a gathering of our family, of the Order of the Purple Cord, and all of those of like mind. And we hope you'll be here. Now, you know, each of us here want to help you on your journey. And as I mentioned earlier, yes, y'all can call me for a private reading. But in the meantime, you need to also go over to Lady Angela's website. Lady Angela, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your website?
Yeah, head over to rarewiccaspells.com. I have loads of super cool witchy stuff, from herbs and jewelry to spells to custom books to regular how-to books, on interpreting dreams, on learning how to do this or that. I have lots of stuff there. rarewiccaspells.com, and being a subscriber of Spirit Channel, you get 10% off of every order. Just type in coupon code Spirit Channel, all one word. Or if you're interested in these cute little custom-made wooden herb chests, I have another store, which is actually on eBay. You just type in my seller name, Rare Wicca Spells. That's how you'll find me, and I'd love to see you there. And Lord Tony's awesome too. Lord Tony, tell us about you.
I am an angelic energy healer, and lately I have been quite bored. I've either been doing my job too well, or people aren't getting sick anymore. Yeah, visit me at just Google Lightbringer's Angel, and it'll show up on there. And down in the description box, you'll find my link. But I have the angels work through me, and together we transmute the energy so it does what it's supposed to do. It comes to you and make you feel all cute and cuddly on the inside and purdy and handsome on the outside, if you want it that way, and pain-free sometimes. And
yep.
However you want to be, we try to fix you up really good. So,
yep. And the links down below underneath this video too. Lord Tony's real. It's real what he does. He's helped every one of us on this panel and so many more. He's great. Check him out.
We're all here doing this show because of Lord Tony. I'm telling you, we each had our crisis moments this last year, and he's zoomed in with his power. You got to call. Now, let me tell you, I'm going to give y'all a lecture here. If you call Lord Tony, now Tony's very generous with this. He'll do everything for free for you, but don't be mean to him. You know, in the craft, we have a tradition of exchange. And so he doesn't demand money from anybody, but it would be kind of you to make a donation to him and support him. And Lord Tony, you do take money through PayPal, I believe.
Yeah, it's just strictly through PayPal. I don't have any other method of doing anything with it right now.
Okay, so you guys, when you call him, you be generous to him, because Lord Tony, I personally, I've used a lot of healers in my. I have not met anybody as powerful as Lord Tony. Lord Tony literally woke me up psychically out of a dead sleep at 2:30 in the morning. I literally woke up with this feeling of euphoria and healing, and I reached over to my phone for some reason, and I picked up, and there was a text from Lord Tony at literally a minute before I woke, and it said, "I hope you're feeling better. I've been sending power to you." And my God, I tell you, I got up the next day and I called him. I said, "Lord, you're not going to believe this. My health is so much better." Oh my God, it was amazing. And I had a very serious illness too. I got bit by a tick and I got blood poisoning. It was very serious. And Lord Tony kept me alive till I could get medical care, and it healed me. So you need to call him. And definitely, you know, get a book of shadows. Somebody you said, "Say goodbye, I want to start the craft." Lady Angela would love to make you a custom book. I have like 3 custom books by her because I'm a little spoiled. And I love them all. So definitely look her up, rarewiccaspells.com. Well, guys, we are at our time. I want to say thank you to all you've been here. If I didn't get your question in the chat, please forgive me. Not trying to ignore y'all. It's hard for us to see all of the questions and get them all. But please come back next week. Bring your questions and be part of the Witch Hour. We'd love you to be here. So we're going to end now. We send each of you our blessings. And I hope that you'll be here tomorrow. Because what do we got tomorrow, Lady Angela?
Horoscopes.
That's right. Horoscopes. You don't want to miss it. So be here at Spirit Channel. We're going to talk about all the major transits and zodiac horoscopes for each zodiac sign. For each of you, custom done by Psychic Bob. You won't get these anywhere else. We'll see you here tomorrow. By the way, help us out. promote this video, like this video, favorite it, thumbs up, share it, put it on your webpage, do whatever you want. Just put it wherever you want. Help people learn about the work we do here. Invite your friends to join the Witching Hour each week, you know, and let them see what the craft is about. I know some of you out there say, my friends are scared of me because I'm now studying Wicca and they're telling me don't do it, it's evil. Well, bring them to the Witching Hour. Let them see what real witches are like and understand that we're not evil and that we do good in the world. And that way you'll be doing your part for the craft. All right, guys. Well, listen, thanks for being here. I love you. We all love you. And we'll see you tomorrow for horoscopes. And until then, may you all always
blessed be.
Blessed be.